Welcome to Employee Termination Tips. My name is Christopher Neufeld of Neufeld Legal, and in this video we'll discuss what controls employment standards legislation or case law. And to get right to the answer is employment standards legislation, be it Employment Standards Code or an Employment Standards Act. It is statute, and as such controls over case law. And more importantly, case law is but interpretation and application of statute. And as such, when you're applying statute in a particular instance, as is case law, you may not be applying other aspects of that statute. Or the party that is raising the argument and upon which the judge decides the case may not have fully articulated what is in the statute, namely the Employment Standards Code or Employment Standards Act. As such, if there is an incomplete presentation, the judge is making a decision based on that incomplete presentation. However, if a subsequent lawyer or individual rise before the court and raise another aspect of that particular statute, and that statute provision had not been previously raised and argued and determined, and even if it had not been fully articulated in conjunction with other elements, then the statute once again prevails, because the statute is what controls and takes precedence over case law. Because case law in many ways is determined by statute, but it is also impacted by arguments and the lack thereof in prior cases. So if the parties before failed to fully articulate their position or draw upon other aspects that would have better advanced their case, or that would have met the factual situation that you are dealing with, you have to look back at statute first and foremost. Statute is controlling, and in employment situations, the legislation and the statute is what dictates first and foremost. So you need to look at the Employment Standards Code or Employment Standards Act when you start off. And naturally, if it's a human rights matter, you look at the Human Rights Act. And it has to be particular to the jurisdiction within which you live, operate, and are employed. And that is how these matters are dealt with in the most general sense. Hence the precedents associated with statute. But as with everything in the law, everything is factually driven and specific, such as you should always be looking to get legal advice to direct your decisions and to inform you as to how everything properly works, because simply basing stuff on broad summations is never appropriate and sufficient. Thank you.